get started?
I'm ready.
No said.
Right. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to log on in. Ooh, this week has been long, Jesus, long, so long. But I'm excited about today's topic, you guys. So, yes, just a few more minutes. Let you guys tune in. For those of you guys that are already on, go ahead and shoot a hello. Let me know who you is, who you be, how you do this. Tonight's discussion is going to be very, very, very interesting. Well, for me at least. Hopefully, you guys find it interesting. Tomato, tomato, you know. But while we wait, so as you guys can see, it's just me here again tonight. Sharon is still out. Hey, co-host, I can't wait till you come back. I miss you. So I hope I represent you well. You know, it's weird when I can't kiki what you hear. You know, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Hey, Melissa, welcome, welcome. Yes, tonight's is, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. Um, Normally, you know, we always are trying to educate. We're always trying to provide some type of information, but I'm very observant. And in the process of observing people, places, things, I have come across something that just kind of disturbed me a little bit. So tonight's topic will be reciprocating the same energy within the Black community. But before I dive in, welcome to T.D.T, where we tell you the damn truth all the time, even when it's just one person by himself. But like I said, tonight's topic we'll be discussing reciprocating the same energy within the Black community. Normally, we would have a disclaimer um, about any types of clips or characters, music, images played in this broadcast. They belong to their own owners for entertainment purposes only. No copyright infringement intended. However, I don't got no videos. I may talk about a few people and things that I have witnessed, read, seen, personal, whatever the case is. But like you guys know, we normally hear Sharon say it, but the topic today may be triggering for you. And if so, we do partner with Naisha. And you can definitely just send me an email us, tdttalk@gmail.com, and we ensure confidentiality and we can get you connected so you can talk through whatever may have triggered you. So, jumping right on in, reciprocating the same energy within the Black community. So, when I was just thinking about like, what can I talk about? What has been irritating me? And the one thing I always have heard, especially here lately, is a lot of people, when they're upset, when they are frustrated, experiencing various emotions, they always say, keep that same energy, keep that same energy. Okay, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions, emotions, and feelings. But what does keeping that same energy mean? You know, is it just a ghetto, fabulous, ratchet statement? Or is there actually something behind it? So I was looking through some things, came across a quote from Will Barnes. He said, through the reciprocation of energy, always and every time, we will get exactly what we put out there to others. Like karma, whatever we do will indefinitely come back to us in some shape or form. When goodness is given, it's likely to be returned. When you support someone, you will be supported. When you love, you will be loved. If you give someone your last dollar, someone will help you equally. So, y'all, this is the law of the universe. Be kind to our neighbors. We've been fed this for years. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So to me, that goes hand in hand with keep that same energy. What you do to me, it's going to come back to you tenfold. So let's talk about it. Maybe you guys, I love to interact, especially when it's me by myself. What are some selfless characteristics? What selfless characteristics do you portray to benefit your reality? So if anybody would like to type in, share what is your selfless characteristic? And the same token could also be what is your toxic characteristics? Because there's always, when there's good, there's always bad. So for me, my selfless characteristic, I believe, is just being empathetic. I'm very understanding to the situation. Whatever you're going through, there's no judgment. I'm not here to be the one to throw the first stone. That's not my place. I'm not God. So I'll never judge you for what you do or how you do it. Now, if you do it and I find some fault in it, as a friend, especially if I call you a friend, because I don't use that word lightly, but if I consider you my friend and I think what you're doing is wrong, me keeping that same energy and just feeding into the BS, that's not beneficial to you. So I'm not going to keep that same energy. I'm gonna pull you to the side, like, look, what you're doing ain't really kosher. You claim to be a queen, which we've talked about in previous videos. You claim to be a boss, like we've discussed in previous videos. And for the fellas, you claim to be a Mufasa when you're out here with fraudulent Simba-like behaviors. Everybody is looking for a king, but there's a lot of people out here that are still Simba in these streets. So Melissa said, my selfless characteristic is being uplifting. I can agree to that. Definitely agree with that. Love, love that characteristic about you. So Melissa, can you, okay, there it is. My toxic characteristic is cutting people off. So for me, Melissa, I don't I don't really think that's negative. I don't think that's a toxic characteristic because, and I'm so grateful that you put this out here and allowing me to share it with everyone. But to me, cutting people off isn't a toxic characteristic, depending on how you're doing it. But that can be a healthy barrier. A lot of kids nowadays will emulate what they see. A lot of people will, just fake the funk until they get what they need to get and they give what they give. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's negative, but or a toxic characteristic, but to each its own. Melissa, I wonder how you're coming across to people. Rocky says, I give people my honest opinion and I'm blunt. Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. You are blunt without a fault. And I know you personally. So, yes, I agree. So, which one is your selfless characteristic? Is that your honest opinion or is that your bluntness? I want to know. Okay, so Melissa followed up without warning, like I'll walk past you like I never knew your ass. I agree. Again, I feel like that's a healthy barrier. Sometimes I like to call them, well, matter of fact, let me scratch that because my mama do be watching this. My mom coined a phrase that people are like emotional leeches, emotional vampires. They will feed off of the goodness that you have until you're left depleted. So if I am spending all my time with someone who's negative or toxic, at some point you've drained me of all the good that I have to produce, that I have to bring. So at some point I need to walk past you like I never knew you. If that's the case, then Melissa, I might be toxic. My toxic trait, my cutoff game is inferior. Or not inferior, excuse me, superior. When I tell you my cutoff game is so strong, I will erase any pictures, any comments, anything that tied me to you. When I cut you off, pictures are out of my phone. I don't, you never existed in my life. To me, you are a bad memory, and I will continue to skip my ass right past your ass. That's just me. Rocky said healthy barriers. I don't like talking overly too overly happy people. I feel like it's not real. I could definitely agree with that. I don't like being fake. I don't, we did a few series back, we talked about code switching. What y'all see is what you get. I don't flip, dip, switch, fake the phone, none of that. You're either gonna accept me 100% authentically me, or you ain't got to talk to me. Either way, I'm still gonna be asleep. I'm still going to enjoy my family and friends, and I don't care. That's me. So, um, now, when we think about keeping that same energy, reciprocating the same energy within the Black community, it got me to thinking. The first series that we ever did on T.D.T was When Woke with the Shackled Mind. And the one thing that I've learned and just doing some research, when it comes to the Black community, for a lot of us to claim, quote unquote, that we're woke, we could tell some of y'all are still asleep. Like, let's be honest, y'all still just y'all sleep in the game. You portray and you want to be this woke individual. You want to have this facade that you're so in tune with the times and what's going on, but your mind frame is still shackled. So what are the barriers that keep us from reciprocating for ourselves? That was the question that I have. I'll give you guys a few seconds. Let me know what are some of the barriers that keep us as a Black individual or allies, anyone watching, from reciprocating that same energy for ourselves. I'll give y'all a few minutes. I wish I had some music playing, but I don't got nothing today. Today has drained me, y'all. I have been drained. But while y'all are typing, because I know there's a little delay, just think back. Think about the community, generations, your upbringings, your socioeconomic standing, any of that. There's a lot of influential factors that people are unaware of. Hey, Ava, welcome, welcome. Okay. Melissa said past experiences. Definitely. That is definitely a barrier that keeps us from reciprocating that energy for ourselves. Definitely, definitely. I'll give y'all a few more seconds. Anybody else got a barrier that could potentially keep you from reciprocating that energy to yourself? Ava, since you late to the party, Ava, what's a barrier? Rocky said if you're educated or you talk educated, you are white, is a social barrier. Definitely. We have those social stigmas placed on us where people feel, oh, he talks too proper. Y'all would be so surprised how often my name is very misleading, very misleading. So when I show up to people's house or um, even on the screen, and they see me, they're like, oh, yeah, yeah. My name is very misleading. I'm 6'5" and a whole lot of pounds. So, not a skinny little white guy with a suit and tie. That's not who Carl is. So sorry. Um, Ava said not loving yourself. That's definitely a barrier that keeps us from reciprocating that same energy for ourselves. So some of the things that I had listed: forgiveness. Black people, you can't. Boy, we won't forgive your grandma if your cousin was hot combing your hair and burnt the nape of your neck. You know right where the hair and the skin meet, and it hit that little that sound right. Don't forgive. You can't forgive yourself for allowing that D boy that you thought was oh so fine put in that pipe work, and he done stole your credit cards, your information, your Wi-Fi password. So now you can't even get on social media. Y'all been there. You know that girl that finessed you out of a Louis bag. I know some people that has had that happen to them. Ooh, Jesus, that was horrible. Um, Rocky said, or we are not woke because we are not getting back to our Black roots. Definitely. And I'm gonna leave that there because that's something I didn't even think about when I was coming up with this topic and just doing research. But that's true. Y'all, there's the theory that's going around schools that the racial theory. and they are scared. They are scared to finally tell the truth. For years, my generation, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Whoops, y'all know what I call this current generation because this is the most entitled generation I have ever seen in my life. But a lot of them, the history wasn't there. For Black History Month, at best, they're going to talk about the same 4 or 5 people that they know, Googled or Wikipedia, and that's about as good as it gets. But we've strayed away so far from our roots, trying to fit in, trying to conform to a table that's not welcoming. And at the end of the day, you're woke when you're able to understand you'll never sit at the table. Period. I'm sorry if I'm the one to have to break it to you, boo boo. Sir, ma'am, whomever, you're not welcomed at the table. The table was not created for to embrace your melanin. For those of you guys that are part Black, part Asian, Mexican, Latin, white, so many mixtures of us, the table was never created for you. Be it in the education system, be it in law, in the justice system, the table was never created for you, ever. At best, the table was created as a anchor, if you will, to show this is what you could have. But it's almost like we were being kids, that na na boo boo, you can't sit here. And I think it was what was that movie, Mean Girls, with Lindsay Lohan, before the heroin and all that really just took over her mind. Um, but she wanted to sit with the girl Regina, and they were like, "You can't sit with us." She got the little redhead friend got so pissed off, like, "You can't sit with us. You're not welcomed here." And if you think I'm lying, let's take a stroll down memory lane. Black Wall Street burned down. The Tuskegee experiments, where they infected so many Black people with a virus, unaware, never let them know that this is what was going on until it was too late. Um, we can even go with conspiracy theories of the HIV epidemic. And I'm sorry, y'all, like, the more that I think about coronavirus and knowing where it started or where they assume it started, and this, that, and the third, all the misinformation surrounded, we don't know. We don't know where it was started. But it was lab made. And it makes you wonder about HIV. We know that the crack epidemic, that was purposefully placed in socioeconomic low standards, like any of the ghettos, the projects. It wasn't in the suburbs. It wasn't in the white collar areas, none of that. It was placed in the ghetto. And then from there, it expanded and it destroyed generations that will never get back. There's some people that even in my family that are on that stuff from the 80s, and luckily they've made it to 2021. However, that's still an addiction that they'll never get over. The crack epidemic, in my opinion, is right up there with the Tuskegee because it wiped out so many Black people. So many Black people. Um, so, like Melissa shared, she said lived experiences. The things that we have engaged in, um, the things that we've engaged in the past can affect our future when we are not dealing with it. And as Black people, we've talked about it. We always want to encourage you guys, but we've told you we've been built to withstand the weight of the world. But at some point, your shoulders and your knees can no longer bear the weight of that. So what happens? Your knees get to shaking, you buckle. Now think about that for your mental. When it comes to your mental, if you keep getting pounded over and over again, something just keeps happening. You're in a domestic violence situation. Your partner is cheating. Your job cut your hours, didn't pay you right. Whatever the case is, those lived experiences, when left unchecked, it can really affect your mental health. It can definitely affect your mental health. It can create mental barriers that you weren't even you never even knew you had before. So the lived experience is definitely something that a lot of us in the Black community, we don't even consider when we're having symptoms, when we're having triggers. If you hear gunshots and the first thing you do is drop to your knees, that's a lived experience. You've heard that sound before, and it may have been every night, every other night, sirens. Those lived experiences automatically trigger something in your brain to either fight, flight, or freeze. Y'all have heard about that. If I hear a gun, if y'all didn't think a big body Buick can run, the two things, excuse me, yeah, the two things that's gonna make me run without a doubt is gunshots or a dog. I don't believe that all dogs are sweet. Um, when you look like this, I feel like in a dog's mind that they see like a big old chocolate bar, I don't want to get bit, so I'm gonna run. I may be winded, but I'm a run. Trust and believe that. Another barrier, trauma. So we did a whole series, me and Sharon, we went in depth. If you don't know what trauma is or what trauma looks like, please go back to some of the older videos and we talk about sexual trauma, physical trauma, verbal abuse. Those are traumas. And those are barriers, again, if left unchecked, can sabotage your future, be it relationship with your spouse, be it intimacy with the next individual that you care about, but you find it really, really hard just to go beyond that's trauma. That's an unchecked emotion and an unchecked experience that you need to deal with. Um, Rocky says if we have had trauma in our past, we try to find external satisfaction like wokeness. So right, I have met so many people. Again, it's the woke for me. It's the woke for me. So many fraudulent individuals claiming to be woke, and it's faddish. It's I'm woke because woke is what matters in the moment. And then we don't hear about anything else until the next situation arises. And then I'm still woke. But what are you doing with this wokeness? Are you protesting? Are you going to these city council meetings and advocating for better policies for everyone? But, we'll talk about that at a later date. I ain't trying to get on here and bust nobody's bubbles. So, as I was thinking about this, I came up with perseverance to combat the interference or interferences. So I really thought, I was like, that's interesting. Perseverance to combat the interference. Okay, what does that look like? So, perseverance is the persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. So, that's perseverance. The persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. That for me, that's me and Sharon's baby, T.D.T. We are persistent in doing this every Friday. We have been coming to you guys since January 5th, 2021. And right now, my co-host ain't here with me. I could have gave up, or not even gave up. I could have been like, woo, time off. It's a Friday. I can watch Teen Titans. There's something I can catch up on sleep. My son is asleep, so I can go play Call of Duty real quick. But I care about my community. So I'm going to continue to thrive. I'm going to continue to press forward. I'm going to continue to fight fight for the education for us, because someone's going to watch this video along the way. These messages that we bring to you guys, It's going to touch somebody's heart that they're going to want to learn. They're going to want to listen. They're going to want to go back. A lot of you guys, y'all been here since day one. So we've constantly educated. We've constantly had those dialogues because it takes one spark to start change. And if that ain't perseverance, I don't know what is. I have no idea what it is. But damn it, I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna keep on. I've been on. We have done shows, and my ankle was the size of a grapefruit. We have done this show in the process of me moving. Sharon was, y'all saw her that about 4 videos back. Sharon was, doing her thing, and we because we care. We gonna continue to give you good content because we care. So I believe that as a community, we often forget our resilience. And, when we did that series, When Woke with the Shackled Mind, I said, let's change the narrative from here on out. Rather than 400 plus years of slavery, let's change that to 400 plus years of resilience. We are resilient. We adapt to our current situations and we will find a way out of it for the most part. Most people will do that the right way. So let's just be honest. Not everybody is built for that, but we still, nonetheless, we're resilient. If you $200 shy for your rent, you gonna find some way to pay that bill. Ponding, working an extra shift, asking a friend, we're resilient. Our bounce back game has always been strong. Even with slavery, we were beaten, we were raped, we were forced to do things that we never wanted to do ever, that was inhumane for even animals. Animals had more rights than we did. But our bounce back game led to where we are now. Our ancestors knew that there could be a potential for a better place. And in that process, we were able to understand, if I suffer now, my children will be able to have a better future. So then if you think about, you're doing this for your child, for the betterment of yourself and for your child's future, then you got to think, when your child gets older, they're going to work just a little bit harder than mom and dad did for the betterment of their kids. So it's a trickle effect, a ripple effect when it comes to bettering ourselves. Naisha said, I think people get so caught up in the effects of trauma, they often omit the conversation of how resilience is built in trauma also. I agree. Without giving out too much information in my life, I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot of things. And it was through those traumas that allowed me to be the clinician that I am. There's a funny saying that to work in mental health, you got to be a little crazy. I definitely agree with that. But to be a clinician that can provide change, you've had to have experienced trauma. And it's clinicians like myself, Naisha, Melissa, Sharon, Crystal, my girl Crystal. I got a few girls, homegirls, Crystal, that have had their own versions of trauma, but it's the trauma that we've lived, that we experience, that allows us to connect to our clients. Because the one thing a lot of people are unaware of, a client can detect real, a client can detect fake. And if you work with the age group that I work with, oh, they will call you out on it. They know the difference from somebody who has been textbook savvy and they passed all their classes with A's. But as far as connecting with people, they suck. Straight trash, straight trash. And I be looking at some people like, ooh, you so smart, you stupid. Wow. Okay. That's new. But and it's just me being honest. To be a good clinician, to be a good whatever field you're in, be it the criminal justice system, be it doctors, CNA, lawyer, you've had to experience something that opened your heart to that specific realm. If I didn't go through the trauma that I went through as a child, a teenager, I wouldn't have been the clinician that I am today. So I definitely agree with that. You really, whew, Naisha, you spoke some truth in that. Trauma can shape you. It forges you. Those lived experiences, y'all, if no one told you before, your lived experiences, consider that a forge. You were placed in 500,000 degrees of heat to forge you to be a weapon to combat anything else that can come your way. Will you get knocked back? Hell yes, you will. You could make it almost to the mountaintop, and one thing can slip right up underneath you and bring you right back to reality, where you got to start right back over again. And now you know when you're about to hit the mountaintop, okay, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and step a little to the left. Let me step a little to the left. Last time I failed. I don't want that. I don't want to do that again. So know your truth. Thank you so much. There's truth behind what I'm telling y'all. I promise you, we care. Here at T.D.T, we care. So I believe as a community, like I said, we often forget our resilience. We are so quick to forgive most people in spite of the proclamation of being done. I have seen people, I'm done. I ain't dealing with Ray Ray no more. This is the last time you hit me. You ain't gonna hit me no more, Ray Ray. And then call friends, come get me. Ray Ray done put his hands on me. And then your friends come. And I'll be damned if the next morning y'all over here hashtag couple goals, hashtag true love. Now, was this true love when he tried to DDT you in the parking lot? No, yes, that okay. Cool. Cool. So we have this proclamation, I'm done. I ain't gonna deal with it no more. But you're so quick to forgive the people that hurt you, but you can't give that same forgiveness to yourself. So reciprocating that same energy for yourself. If you can forgive other people, you damn sure need to be able to forgive yourself. And I'm speaking for truth when it comes here. That was the one thing I struggled with. People always said, you forgive people for yourself. It doesn't matter about them or what they're doing or what benefits they may have for you saying, you know what, I forgive you. But let's flip the mirror on ourselves. How many of us have forgiven ourselves for the mistakes that we've made? Anybody? Have you forgiven yourself for any mistakes that you've made throughout your life? Anybody bold enough to put a heart, like this, comment, let me know. I want to know your truth. Has anyone flipped the mirror and forgave themselves? And if so, how has that affected you? Anybody care to share? Again, this will be the time that I really feel like we should have some music, bump something, but I wasn't prepared today. Open houses and stuff, for schools. It's difficult. But while wait for some of you guys to type, I know it's a delay in responses sometimes because we're between two platforms. Um, but I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't until I hit my 30s that I understood that forgiving other people that helps you. That helps you. That makes you feel um beautiful. Oh my God, I forgave that man for all the times he did me dirty. I forgave that chick for cheating on me with four of my homeboys in the dugout field. Oh, I'm such a beautiful person. But were you doing that for recognition? First of all, were you doing that for recognition? Followed by that was cute. That was cute. But when you experience those lived experiences, y'all, and you haven't forgiven yourself, that creates room for doubt. That creates room for worry. That creates a lot of things that can mimic certain diagnoses, be it anxiety, depression, adjustment disorder. It's so many things that can trigger it, all because we can forgive the world, but we can't forgive ourselves. So somebody said, called out. Thanks, Carl. I promise you, I ain't trying to call nobody out. I promise you, but I want to know. We are so quick to forgive the world. But how many of you guys have taken the time to say, you know what, Carl, you messed up. You screwed this up, but you know what? I'm sorry. We'll learn better next time. We'll do better next time. And forgive yourself. Allow yourself the room to make mistakes. We are so faddish and clicky when it comes to wanting to be in the here and now, wanting to be accepted by our likes and how many times we're retweeted and poked and shared and all this other technical stuff I don't really get into, but please like, comment, and share this. Hit that notification on YouTube. That way you know when we upload good content. Just wanted to throw that plug in. But a lot of us base pictures. How many likes did I get today? That's how you value your worth. A lot of people value their worth by what other people say or approve about them. But how many of you forgave yourself? Your house got repoed or your car got repoed. Your house is in foreclosure. Your bank account sits in the negative, at least once a month. Allow yourself forgiveness. Reciprocate that same damn energy that you will give to someone you know is trifling. Trifling. And allow that reciprocation for yourself. Forgive your damn self. Thank you, Melissa. And who was that? Amanda. Thank you, thank you. Melissa said, "I wouldn't say I've had to forgive myself for anything I've done. However, I've acknowledged that I'm human, make mistakes, and accept my past works, the good, the bad, and the ugly. No regrets." Love that. Love that. That's unapologetically you. And and with the forgiveness, and it can come in that form, y'all. That's raw form. You live and you learn. But if you live and then you live in regret because of the decisions you made, if you can't stand 10 toes deep in the decision you made, maybe you need to reconsider your thought process. Just do just a little bit better the next time. But we need to. So, lastly, let me see. Oh, two more things. So, the one thing when I was thinking about this, I wanted to be really philosophical. I wanted to come to you guys with some inspiration because this reciprocating the energy, I really want to expand more on it. Reciprocating the same energy within your job, within your relationship, within the community, y'all, because the energies within the Black community, we're not where we need to be. There's a lot of fluctuation. And I feel like if we can match the same energy for change, acceptance, and growth, we could do better. So energy is an anchor. And depending on the influential factors, they can determine how we as people reciprocate the energy that weighs us down or lifts us up. So when I asked you guys initially, what was your selfless characteristic or your toxic characteristics? To me, that's an energy. That's something that you thrive on. That's something that you are proud to say, I can do this. This is my characteristic. Like I said, I'm empathetic, almost to a fault at time. I will listen to people talk till 2, 3 in the morning just because I'm empathetic. I understand what you're going through. And if talking to me can help you not to make a bad decision, I want to be there for you. And I'll listen. I'll provide feedback. If you need to vent, just tell me and I'll be quiet. I will sit there and give you my undivided. But my toxic, Melissa pointed it out, that's me. My cutoff game is, but I don't think it's toxic, me personally. I think that's a healthy barrier. I realize that we have reached a certain point in this relationship in which I took you as a season and made you a reason, and it's no longer conducive to my growth. That's me. Y'all tell me. Do y'all feel having a cutoff game? Do you feel that's toxic, or do you feel that's a healthy barrier? A healthy boundary, excuse me, not barrier. I don't want to say barrier. A healthy boundary. Rocky, Naisha, what y'all, Ava, what y'all think? Do y'all think that's a healthy boundary to have, or do you think it's toxic? I mean, is it toxic if I don't tell you I'm cutting you off? Does that make it toxic? Because I just feel like if I have to cut you off, there's no reason for us to talk. But I digress. I'm gonna wait till some comments come in. So, lastly, there it is. We live under a cloak and the fad that appeases ignorance within our friendships, families, and our own self worth. Like I said, we need the validation from likes and how many people liked us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and this, that, and the third. We need to feel validated by how many people compliment us when we go into work and this, that, and the third. That's a lot of energy being spent, a lot of energy being spent on some mediocre feeling. And when it comes to the fad part, that's when we had all these movements going on due to um, the brutalities with law enforcement, to the unarmed Black men and women. A lot of people were jumping on with that movement of change. But if we're being honest, I haven't heard nothing else from a lot of people that, and again, you may have fixed or readjusted your focus to something else, but the one thing I'm seeing is faddish. A lot of things are faddish, and the one thing that should not be faddish within our community is unity. We're not united. We don't have leaders to follow anymore. All the greats have died. May they rest in peace. There's so many people that, on the east side they do this, on the south side they do this, on the north side they run like this. Everybody is doing their own thing, but nobody's coming together. And it's disheartening when you can see that, wow, they're doing this over here, and wow, that looks really good over here. Black folks, we can't work together to save our life. You can disagree if you want, but the truth is what the truth is. Black people, y'all know here we support Black owned businesses. That's what we do. But y'all, you don't know, when me and Sharon were starting the merchandise part of T.D.T, we have the cups and the shirts and all of these things that we're trying to do to help people that, are in need. You'd be surprised how many people say, so I can get a family discount, I can get the homie hookup. I don't see not near Black person going into none of these hair stores asking for the Black person discount because y'all saw me here last week. Y'all don't go to none of these establishments asking for your 40 acres and a mule discount. Why do we try to get a discount with Black folks? But then on the flip side, we got Black folks that be trying to do some shiesty, so shiesty things. So it's a double-edged sword with that. Melissa said, I only said it was unhealthy because I cut people off at the first sign of an issue. I feel like I could be better at giving people forgiveness. Melissa, forgiveness comes in various shapes, forms, and sizes. I can forgive you and not deal with you. Because see, it's those lived experiences right there that let you know, mm-mm. No, this smells familiar. I can taste it. Back, y'all know that taste when you smelt something and it be right here. You can taste it. I can taste that. That's foolishness. And you're right, because no one is perfect. That's true. I'm not Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not gonna perpetrate like I am. You get one time to slap me in the face. You ain't slapping my other cheek. It don't sit well with me. Mm-mm. I ain't doing it. So before I let you guys go, it's a little early today, a little bit early. What do you guys feel? Are you guys feeling this, reciprocating the same energy within the Black community? Do y'all feel like this is something I should expand on? Like I said, I do want to talk about it as far as reciprocating the same energy within the relationships. There's so many facets that make us unique. And I feel like we got to touch on them when we come up with good ideas. So what are y'all's thoughts? Are y'all feeling this? Do y'all have any topic series that you would like us to talk about? Let me know. I am here for it. Would love to get some comments from y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a few seconds, and then I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a night, y'all. A whole night in these streets. But thank y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all showing up. Apparently, I didn't scare y'all off too bad last week because you came back. I appreciate you. We probably gonna do something a little more fun, a little more upbeat. Well, I'll see. But I will definitely look at y'all's comments later on. You let me know and tune in next week, y'all. Thank you so much. Hold on. Amanda said, thank you for being here after a long day. You welcome, Amanda, because it was such a long day. But y'all have a great night. Peace.
Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the truth, where the truth don't lie. 3 T's, no lie.
Thank you. Tune in next week. Same black channel, same black host, and we'll holla at you at the same black time. Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Teach, no lie.